Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother***ing ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I am Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is anime trope Dan Ryan.
So many anime tropes.
They're just dripping. In summer, it's summer series, and I got some big fucking rock in my eye. God, I can't even read my script. Let's see. Come on, you do this in one eye. We can do it. All right.
It's you want me to do
series.
It?
Yeah, no, take over. Take over.
All right, hold on. I got to load the script. All right. It's the summer series, and this month's pick was my choice, The Clash at Demonhead. What did we think? Make a good choice, because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now.
You've made a good choice.
I did. Hi, everyone. This is episode 372. It's the week of August 20th, 2021. Kris got a Loftwing amiibo, and that's all we're going to talk about tonight. Fuck Clash of Demonhead. We're just talking about that thing.
It showed up in the mail. The end.
And you can't see it because you have just a mountain of sand in your eye.
I was looking at it yesterday. It was great.
Today, I think it's still there. I'm not sure.
All I see is red.
I got
sadness.
I got sand in my eye and my vagina. It's terrible.
So we're at the beach yesterday, and my daughter pulls me in to whisper. She's like, "Daddy, when are we going home?" I was like, it's the middle of the day. We're here until nighttime. What's the matter? And she pulls me down close, like, I have sand in my butt. It's like, well, you've been sitting in the sand for a while. You could take a dip in the ocean.
There you go. It's a way to wash the sand right out of every crevice.
All them cracks.
Oh man,
good times.
It's a terrible thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate sand. It's all itchy.
It's rough. It's coarse.
Gets rough.
It's everywhere. Oh, Annie.
God, it's so bad. Anyway, how you doing? Other than the sand in your vagina, Kris, how are you?
I'm doing good. No, I'm doing great. All right, so I haven't done yard work out front in longer than I should have.
because it's been Satan's asshole outside.
It's just been so goddamn hot. I couldn't bring myself to do it. And every day, it would just get worse and worse. But really, all summer long, no matter how clean I get the yard, it still looks wrong to me because I have this problem where I have all these weeds that are growing through the sidewalk cracks. And I mean, these are the healthiest plants in my entire property. There is more fertile soil than whatever's living in between my sidewalk cracks. And it's, because the sidewalk isn't properly sealed because, my house is from the 50s and, whoever laid this stuff in the first place didn't do a very good job. So, it is what it is. And I had this system working before where I'd go out there with a spray bottle and I'd spray it with vinegar. And, within a day, they'd all be brown and dead, and then I'd, yank them out and whatnot, which was, it was working. It kills them, and they'd stay gone for, a week or two, and then they'd come back. So I eventually gave up on that because, doing all that spraying, I got a lot of sidewalk, and it should make my hand cramp. So I decided to go
I got delicate lady hands, and I
do. I got games to play, all right? These are the money makers right here. So I decided to go a little more scorched earth, right? A little more salt.
So I bought a flamethrower. Shit. Neighbors were not happy.
Salting the earth, right? That's a thing.
Yeah.
You salt the earth. So that's vinegar right there. So I'm thinking, all right, spray bottle's not good enough, and I'm not spraying these weeds anymore. They're way easier to pull when they're all lush and green. So I went out there yesterday, bought a new pair of gardening gloves, and I just started ripping these suckers out. And it took me, I got all the front walkway done yesterday and today combined. So it was probably a total of about 2 hours of work of just down there yanking these gigantic beefy ass weeds out of all the sidewalk cracks. And I'm about halfway done the project overall because I got a lot of sidewalk. But anyways, after I finished it, I got one of those big a gallon and a half jugs of vinegar, and I poured it in these like spray bottles, not like the squeezy spray bottles, like you pull the trigger and it goes pss, pss, pss. That's what I was doing before. I was misting that shit. And that was enough to kill some weeds, but it wasn't enough to really get in there and like, I mean, I want to murder these things. So now
yeah,
that
I want them gone.
I've pulled everything up, right? So I got back from when we had the cloth diapers, I had these little squeeze bottles, right? And I was like, that's what I'm doing. I'm filling these suckers up. Now, so I filled those up with vinegar, and I went through just squeezing a generous portion of vinegar into these things, which is going to kill the weed. Like, it's going to kill the roots. It's going to make this soil in these cracks uninhabitable, theoretically.
Or better. I'm not sure
better,
which.
Right?
It's one of the
fires
two.
Out. You made them worse.
Or
worse
better.
or better. Yeah, so that's my running theory, because right now I know spraying that shit from the outside, it worked. It didn't work forever. So I doubt this is going to work forever. Nothing's going to work forever. Weeds were always going to grow there no matter what. But if I can stave them off for several weeks, and then maybe they don't come back quite as strong, and I can kind of nip those in the bud with the weed whacker, because like I'm telling you, when I say the weeds were growing out of the cracks, like they would actively laugh at my weed whacker at this point. Like, if I tried to cut those things off, they would just be like,
nope, whatever, bitch. I use the edger in the sidewalk cracks. That's what I'm doing at this point.
I don't have one of those. I really want one.
You do? Well,
you told me about it a while back, and it's been on my list.
You're going to have another birthday. I thought the arcade cabinet was a little bit more important. But, next year.
Absolutely. No, arcade
next
cabinet.
year, maybe if you're a good boy, you'll get a fucking edger.
Yeah. Or, Christmas is right around the corner, man.
Oh, Christmas is coming. That's true. Yeah. That's true. I know. How fucked up is that? It's about, we're halfway through August. I don't even understand. I'm still trying to process last year. I don't even know.
It's coming up quick. And,
it is, man.
It's been heat wavy, but unfortunately, my mom's pool hasn't been usable until this last week. So we were in there every day last week because it was hot enough. But this week, it's not quite hot enough. Now, I know what you're saying. That's insanity, right? Because it's plenty hot outside. But the thing is, my mom's pool is in this backyard that's the forest. So
the water is freezing. Yeah.
Freezing. So when I do yard work, I drive immediately to my mom's house, and I'll do the yard work in my bathing suit, hop in the car, because my mom lives literally 2 minutes away. Actually, I think 2.5. No, it's 2 minutes there, 4 minutes back, because there's a light on the way back. Yeah.
Oh,
so to just
terrible.
Finish the yard work, jump right in the car, jump in the pool, and that feels great. But this last week when we were over 90, because I feel like it's got to be over 90, and then we're good in the pool. Anything that's under 90, it starts to get too cold for even the kids.
Wait, which is absurd.
Yeah.
Because kids will, you guys want to go swimming? It's December, but, you want to go? And they're like, fuck yeah.
John will stay in the pool till he's, his lips are blue and shivering, and he's like, It's time to go, John. Nope.
I'm good.
Aren't you cold? A little, but I'm good. I'm having fun.
So we have had some issues with the pool. We just had to buy some fucking flex tape sealer because one of the seams got a hole in it. So I was like, so the backyard is flooded. There's no water in the pool. So now I got to try and find where this fucking hole is. And
how does that flex tape, how well does that work? Because I just got a hole in my front yard garden hose.
I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. So the pool is finally drained enough, and I think we identified the spot where the hole is. So we're going to experiment and see how that works, because you're same thing last week, couldn't use the pool, right? Because even though it was hotter than Satan's asshole, couldn't find the leak, couldn't find the hole. Son of a bitch. Just staying inside then, because this is absurd. It's absurd. Absurd, Chris.
Preaching to the choir.
It's just, man. I mean, and don't get me wrong. I love the Northeast. I'm never going anywhere again unless it's further northeast, norther and easter. But man, this was bad. walked outside and went, go fuck yourself. This
Don't you just hate that?
Ridiculous.
You just open the door and you're just hit with this swampy humidity of just like, it just knocks the air right out of you.
I was like living back in Florida, man. It was like, oh, dude, because that's what it was like in Florida every day. Walk outside and just, son of a bitch. This is awful. I hate this. Except for like a week in October. There was 1 week in October where it was nice. You'd be like, all right, this isn't too bad. The rest of it was garbage.
Yuck.
So have you been playing any video games apart from the summer series?
Yeah, not as much as I'd like. I really really did not get a lot of time to get things done this week. And in fact, I didn't get extraordinarily far in Clash at Demonhead either, which was a. I tried.
You?
I did. I have a lot of thoughts. Don't worry.
I'm really interested on your thoughts on this one.
We'll have plenty of show. Don't get me wrong. But
we got material. Don't worry.
Well, like you said, I got my Loftwing amiibo. It showed up in the mail like super late, but it's here. It's wonderful. It's gorgeous. It was worth every penny. It's sitting there up on my shelf with all my other Zelda amiibo. Just nice. And I mean, I don't mean like my Zelda series amiibo. I mean like my other Zelda amiibo. I've got it's let me see if I can see it from here. It's I'm knocking shit over. God damn it. It's Sheik, Zelda and Loftwing from Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild Zelda, Wind Waker Zelda, and Twilight Princess Zelda from the Smash series.
Very nice.
It makes me happy. It brings me lots of joy. I also got in the mail today, not specifically video game related, but I usually just have all sorts of links and stuff up on my Facebook page while I'm podcasting, and I come across, I don't remember if I mentioned it to you, one of these ads for like this awesome Dragon Ball art.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just one of those Facebook ads like, hey, here this is on a canvas. You want to get it? And I was like, man, that is a really pretty picture. Because I like the nerdy stuff that's not immediately, it's like it's immediately obvious that it's nerdy. Like if you know what this is, then yeah, that's a pretty nerdy picture. But otherwise, It's just a picture of a house on an island with a cool looking cloud. So I was talking to Matt on an episode of Waveback about it, and I was like, all right, you know what? Heck with it. I have this money in my PayPal account. I'm just going for it. So I did, and then it took forever to show up. Like, first off, I thought it got lost. I thought I got ripped off entirely because I went to go check my status through their website, and the website's gone.
Oh no!
That's
not great. That's not a great sign.
Lost out on some cash here. That's not great. But then I found the tracking number through my confirmation email, and it was in fact coming. It did, and it showed up today. I ordered, art on canvas. I didn't realize I ordered like art just literally on canvas rolled up.
No shit!
I thought it was on a frame.
Yeah,
not like in a frame, but on a frame. But no.
Yeah.
It was just the canvas rolled up. And I was also kind of afraid this is going to be super low res and pixelated. And then it actually wasn't. The art is as gorgeous as I wanted it to be. It's just not on a frame. So I'm going to have to figure that out.
Well,
but
that's weird.
Nice. Yeah, it was weird. That site still disappeared, but now I'm seeing other sites with the exact same pictures. Like, here's this canvas laying against a wall, and it's the exact same images they used on this other website. So, and the thing showed up from China, so yeah, it definitely wasn't the. It was a bit shady. Whatever. Anyways,
I mean, as long as it's coming.
Yeah, it showed up, and I got the artwork, and it's gorgeous, and I'm going to figure out how to get it, stretched and put on a frame, and then I'm going to hang it up somewhere, because it's awesome. I love Dragon Ball. But anyways, I could not buy Axiom Verge 2 the day it came out, because I loved Axiom Verge, and that was announced during the Nintendo Indie Direct, or whatever they call them these days.
Yeah.
Whatever
it is.
Indie Showcase, there it is. That's the words.
Took a minute.
Yeah, the Indie Showcase was really good, and Axiom Verge was shadow dropped. And this comes out later today.
Son of a bitch!
That's awesome. So I picked that up. Did you pick that up?
I did not, because I picked up Raji and Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight the day before, and then that came out. I was like, I'll give it a minute.
Well, I didn't play a ton of it, obviously, because, I had other things to play, like Clash of Demonhead, so I didn't put a ton of time into it. I probably put an hour total into it, and I really love it. It's fantastic. It is,
I'm really excited to get to it.
Yeah, I'm hoping that you and me can kind of play through it close to around the same time.
Yeah.
Just because I really wanted to get your thoughts on it kind of like as we go along, but so I don't really want to mess with anything. I don't remember the first one in super detail, but this one's pretty different, like, visually thus far, but it definitely has a lot of connections to it that are popping up into my head, like, I recognize that name. That was a character in the first game. And then I'd look it up and be like, wow, the story in the first game was crazy.
It really was.
I forgot how completely bug nuts that story was, but I'm really interested to see where the story's going, and also just the gameplay is great. You got a little blaster, you got a boomerang. I got the drone that crawls out and stuff. It's really cool. I love it. It's
That's
great.
Awesome.
It's great. Can't wait to get back to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. But like I said, like I bought these 2 other games and I was like, oh, god damn it. Like I dropped like $20 on these 2 because they were on sale or whatever. PlayStation was doing like a fucking summer sale or whatever. And I was like, all right, well, Momodora, like I've had my eyes on that for a little while. It's a cool little Metroidvania type thing that I'm really digging so far. Like it's got a good, pixel art style and whatever. The story seems cool. Backgrounds are really gorgeous. The music's really good. It got a release from like Limited Run, I think, too, a little while ago. So like it's got a pedigree, you know what I mean? But I was like, I got that, and then I've been really excited about this Raji game, but we haven't started that yet because we started Momodora first. I was like, oh man, and then Axiom Verge is there. It's like a really give me a week. Give me a week. Let me try and get through these 2. And I'll see if I can get fucking Axiom Verge too. Because I'm more excited for that than the other 2. You know what I mean? Like, god damn it.
you were convincing me to play the first one for the longest time, and then I finally did, and it absolutely ruled. And I am really into part 2. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's something that I'm gonna love. Like I'm sure I'm going to. And I love the fact that it supports Thomas Happ. You know what I mean? Like, I love the fact that I buy this game and I know where the money is going to a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's, I was listening to somebody else talk about this, and I thought it was really fascinating that the drone character seems to be, to an extent, at least the guess is that the drone character is kind of dedicated to his son.
Right.
Because, his kid went through that, some sort of ordeal, and he has a lot of mobility issues.
Yeah.
The drone is represented by, a little boy. And it's like, that's really cool.
That is really cool. Like, he gets it. You know what I mean? No, he gets it. He knows what he's doing.
It really starts off very, very well as far as I'm concerned. So, good times. Also from the Indie Showcase, they announced that Tetris Effect is coming to Switch, which I'm super happy about because people have been telling me I should play that game for a long time.
Yeah, I know I should play that game too at some point.
Unfortunately, it comes out on October 8th, which is the same day as Metroid Dread.
So, yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm probably still going to buy it and use it to wind down after playing Metroid, but either way, I'll be getting it close to launch because I'm super excited about it. It looks really cool.
I've heard nothing but great things about it.
There's a lot of stuff coming out that I genuinely care about, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to afford to buy all of it. Because we got No More Heroes 3 coming out August 27th. And I'm kind of 50-50 on that one because of Axiom Verge, right? I was going to get that one and be like, all right, I should get this game. I bought the first 2, even though I never finished them. I should really get around to doing that at some point. And maybe I should hold off on No More Heroes 3 until I finish the first 2. Either way, I was pretty well interested in Sonic Colors, especially because John is too, and it's only $40.
Right.
Cruisin' Blast is an absolute must. That's September 14th.
Yeah,
right?
like that's not even a question for you.
Yeah, that's 100% purchase, right? So
Yeah.
Sonic Colors is the 7th. Cruisin' Blast is a week later in the 14th. Then the next week, on September 24th, the Switch gets Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Which, I mean, is that a must buy on day one? Probably not, right?
Yeah, probably not. Like, I want to, but at the same time, looking at what happened with Fighter Z in like several months, I'm probably going to be able to get it for way cheaper. So I should just hold off on that one. But I am really itching to play it.
I know, but like, how many more times do you need to play through that story?
I haven't. I have not played a Dragon Ball video game in I don't know when. I never played through sagas. I never played through the Game Boy Advance games. I have, without the exception of like the Budokai games, I played like the first and second one, and those aren't like really playing the story in an adventure game. They were fighting games.
Yeah.
And that was it.
All right.
So, like, I haven't really played a representation, like an adaptation of the Dragon Ball story before, and I heard the game's pretty good, and it looks really great on the Switch. So I don't know. It seems like the kind of thing that I want to make an exception for, and I'm not positive yet. I'm gonna wait till the actual reviews come out for the Switch one and really hunker down on it. But I'm such a Dragon Ball fiend, and that I've never played a good playthrough of that story, and I don't know. I'm very interested in it. Of course, Metroid Dread's October 8th. So is Tetris Effect. And then the other two games that I pre-ordered already, Mario Party Superstars and Advance Wars, like October 29th and December 3rd. I am booked.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
And that doesn't even cover, like, I'm probably going to get another review for Nintendo Force before the end of the year. I have no idea what, so I'm booked. Yeah. Which is kind of exciting. Really.
That is kind of exciting.
There's like No More Heroes 3 is the only one on this list that I'm like kind of iffy about. Like,
right.
I was upset that I missed Sonic Colors because I really liked that style of Sonic game. So I'm totally into playing that in HD. Cruisin' Blast. The only other one is Dragon Ball Kakarot, which I'll wait on because I'll be playing Cruisin' Blast and then Metroid's going to happen. So
I mean, it's nice. It's a nice problem to have, right? Of like, I've got all these like things that I'm looking forward to, but then also it's like, man, this sucks.
Yeah,
I really I want to spend time with these things, but I can't, because like I'm somewhat in the same boat that you are. Like, Advance Wars in December, I just cannot wait for. Like, I'm so excited for that game. Metroid Dead, obviously, in October.
Metroid Dead?
Metroid Dead. Sorry, Metroid Dread. Sorry, I'm reading a fucking list of shit, too, at the same time.
Cruisin' Blast is only going to be $40. I didn't know that. I'm so happy.
In September, that Kina, Bridge of Spirits, that game comes out for the PS5. Was really, really looking forward to that one. The kids are really looking forward to playing that one as well. So like, that's a game a month right there. Guardians of the Galaxy, like I'm cautiously optimistic, but that comes out in October. Back 4 Blood comes out in October, and I loved Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. Those were so fun. And like, Back 4 Blood comes out in October. In November, I mean, we've got Just Dance 2022, which, you know me, can't wait. But then December, like the other stuff, like it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. And whatever else they decide to drop on us and like, and it comes out today. Like, fuck you, don't do that. I need some time to prepare.
Yeah, like, who the hell knows what's gonna... There's definitely stuff we don't know about before the end of the year. I'm sure of it.
Of course there is.
I mean, I didn't even mention Shredder's Revenge, because I don't think that has a release date yet.
Oh my god, yeah. Fuck, I forgot about that.
Does that have a release date?
That was just, like, the stuff that I just went over was just PS5. That doesn't cover the stuff that comes out on PS4, or fucking, like...
A lot of good games. Huzzah. And
It's ridiculous, dude. Oh, fucking Psychonauts 2 is in August.
Oh, shit, that's right.
I totally forgot. Psychonauts 2 is in August. Have to have that. have to. That's not a question. So it's like, I'm going to get the fucking Kena and Psychonauts. And like, that's the thing. These are all like big games. You know what I mean? They're not like, it's like a 5-minute game. You know what I mean? Like, these are hours.
Not going to blow through that on a weekend.
No, just not. Got the Caligula Effect coming out. It's a great movie. Did you ever see Caligula?
No.
No? I don't know how you would feel about it. It's a really fascinating movie. I don't know, there's a lot of like really there's a lot of really weird games coming out like now as we're getting towards the end of the PS4's life cycle. It appears that it's a little bit cheaper to develop for it because there's just a lot of like weird, interesting things coming out. I don't know, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh, good. Oh, sorry.
You should be. How dare you?
I am. I picked up. I made an interesting purchase. So we talked about before how I was like kind of done with the new Super Mario Brothers thing, right?
Yes.
I like playing that game by myself, but man, it's getting just brutal to play multiplayer. So I wanted to come up with another option for us to play together as a family. And I wound up landing on Bubble Bobble for Friends.
Okay.
Because John's been like, for some reason, really into Bubble Bobble lately. And that's not a complaint. Bubble Bobble's awesome. And I love that he's so into it. He just stumbled onto some of the songs on my iPod and was like listening to that music over and over again. I'm like, okay. So I realized there was a 4-player Bubble Bobble on the Switch. So I decided to give it a whirl because it was finally on sale. This game was like $40 or something like that, regular.
Which seems way too much for Bubble Bobble.
Yeah, it's pretty beefy for that kind of a thing. Now, I mean, I don't know how big this game actually is, but just looking at the overall presentation and stuff, it didn't. $40 seems like a bit of an ask. Now, this is the same company that has is putting that new Space Invaders collection out on the Switch, which is like 11 different versions of Space Invaders, and it's $60. I'm like, I don't know about that, guys.
Yeah, that's maybe a bit much.
First off, 3 of those versions of Space Invaders are just Space Invaders in color, and Space Invaders 2, which is not much different from Space Invaders as far as I know.
Right.
It just seems like a bit of an ask at that price. I know I always have kind of a thing about putting the value on games. Like, I had no problem dropping $60 on the Skyward Sword remake, but I feel like there's a lot more game in Skyward Sword than 11 different versions of Space Invaders. Just throwing that out there. But so the Bubble Bobble one,
I think really that seems like a pretty safe sentence to say.
The content of the Bubble Bobble thing wasn't so much my concern as like how good is it? You know, how much fun am I actually going to get out of this new Bubble Bobble game? Because it's the kind of thing that you could very easily screw up. Like, if I bought it at full price $40 and it turned out to be like, oh no, this is great. They just absolutely nailed the look and feel of this game. The music's wonderful. Okay, I'm in. But everything I'd seen about it has been like kind of questionable. Like, I don't know, is this good? I can't really tell. It could be neat, but it could be a mess. So I waited till it was on sale for like half off, so $20. All right, if worst case scenario, I'll probably like it personally to play myself $20 worth. So here we go. And it's pretty decent. They changed the bubble physics in a way that makes sense, but also completely goes against everything in my brain because I know how the bubbles have always worked in the Bubble Bobble games.
Yeah.
So like, if you want to bounce on top, if you actually want to bobble on top of a bubble, you don't have to do anything. You just jump on top of it, and you'll automatically bounce on top of the bubble, which is, I think, a genuinely good move, but then you have to press down in order to pop through the bubble that you land on top of, which is something that comes into play more often. Like, you'll get something trapped in a bubble and you want to fall down on top of it, but then you wind up just bouncing on top of it. Like, no, break the damn thing. then it pops out and it kills you. But it's Bubble Bobble, but the stages are a lot larger, like zoomed out more, because you can play it with 4 people at the same time, which is pretty fun. It's basic enough that Ellie is able to have fun while doing it, and if you die on a stage... So the way my biggest concern was like, all right, how do lives work? Because in New Super Mario Brothers, it's as long as somebody stays alive, everybody can eventually come back and keep going. But if all 4 of you die at the same time, then you're toast. That's kind of how this works. So if everybody dies except for me, which is what usually happens,
which is how this usually goes.
When I move on to the next level, everybody gets 1 life to come back. Like everybody gets to come back for one extra life. Which is neat for every level that I go through. But then I realized that if all 4 of you get a game over and over again, like I think 4 times, then it just gives you the option to come back, play through the level with invincibility. Like,
that's cool.
Which was great because, yes, it takes all of the challenge out of it, but at the same time, like, that's with the kids. They don't care. Yeah. So we jump in there with the invincibility, and we took out the third boss. It's neat. It's got a neat look to it. I don't love the art style. It's like there's something just a little off about it. But it's certainly good enough, and I'm glad I picked it up. So if you are a huge Bubble Bobble fan and have been on the fence about Bubble Bobble for Friends, it gets my half-hearted recommendation.
It gets an Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
Hey, yeah.
I'm sure you don't understand the reference, but
not at all. It sounds good.
No, it's.
Is that like Orange Julius?
No. You keep talking. I'll send a picture to you.
Okay, looking forward to it.
He's a wrestler, and he is the king of sloth style. So, yeah.
Well,
he's incredible.
I've been continuing my Wii Fit and Ring Fit situation. I've, not having dessert anymore. I've cut out all snacking, and I'm doing Wii Fit and or Ring Fit once a week and Wii Fit every other day of the week, weekdays. And I lost 2 pounds last week. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, that means I got to do some shit too, because I can't be the fattest guy at Evan's wedding. That sucks.
Well, we don't know the rest of the people there, so
yeah, Evan, invite some fat people. So I don't have to do anything.
This is not what I expected when you said sloth style.
Yeah, yeah. His matches are worth watching. I think you would get a kick out of Orange Cassidy.
Okay, then.
He's very, very fun.
All right. Well, the last thing I have, sorry, I have no idea how to respond to that.
And that's his thumbs up, though. That's all you get. That's the kind of thumbs up you're giving. Just kind of a half-hearted, like, it's kind of there.
Okay, now I'm seeing the reference. Yeah, okay. No, yeah, that works. That's about the thumbs up I'll give Bubble Bobble for Friends.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Anybody who's listening to the podcast right now who watches wrestling and knows who Orange Cassidy is, as soon as I said that, they were like, I totally understand that reference. Anybody else, look up an Orange Cassidy match on YouTube. He's ridiculous.
Well, the last thing that I will say is still playing Skyward Sword, and it's still great. I'm in the Lanayru Desert, which was my favorite area in the game. That's the area where you hit these time stones, and then the area around the time stone is 100 years in the past.
Okay.
So, like, you're in this desert, but then you hit the time stone, and then it creates this, like, bubble around it that exists in the past where the desert wasn't a desert. It was, like, green grass and all these, like, technological things. So, like, there are these mine carts that are electric powered, and if you push them out of the past, like, and into the present, then they die. Or you can, like, be fighting a moblin or whatever, and you knock him back into the past, and then he turns into a pile of bones. Or into the future.
Cool.
Because, yeah, it's a really, really great mechanic. It's so clever. And this is a really great example of this game doing what it does best, which is, like, the dungeons are really good, but also getting to the dungeons is like part of the dungeon. Like, the entire desert area is like a giant dungeon where you're solving puzzles to get there in the first place. And the things that used to cheese me off, like the dowsing, are bothering me way less in this one. I am starting to run into the problem I thought I was going to with the combat, where that weird little bit of delay, and like I understand why it's there, but when you swing the sword with the analog stick, that tiny bit of delay is starting to cause me some problems when I'm getting into fights, because they change positions so fast that I can't react fast enough to get at them with my sword. So outside of that, though, I'm still having a blast with it. I'm in the dungeon in the Linnea Desert now, which is the I've already forgotten the name of it, but
all right,
it's really cool because it's dealing with a lot of stuff with the time stones, and I just got the Gust Bellows, which is this jar that just constantly shoots air. So there's all this sand everywhere. There's stuff buried under sand and whatnot. Or these weird floating blowfish things that, like, they're not aggressive. They just slowly float towards you, and then they like puff out like a blowfish, but they're also incredibly explosive. So if you knock them into something, they blow up. So if there's like a wall that you need to bomb, but you can't throw a bomb at it because it's too high, you get the Gust Bellows and you blow this blowfish into a wall, and then it blows up and you got a big hole in the wall. It's great.
It's ridiculous.
The game's got problems, no question, but man, does the good stuff outweigh the bad. Skyward Sword is way better than people gave that game credit for, and like, not having to play it with motion controls is a joy. Like, I will happily stomach those combat issues for the comfort of holding a controller instead of busting out the Joy-Cons, because like I could just as easily pick up the Joy-Cons and play it, and I actively choose, nope, I'm sticking with this because I can get through this. I can totally get through this, no problem. I can make it work, and I do, and it's great. Good game. What about you, Dan? What have you been up to?
Shit, man, nothing much. Playing the Clash of Demonhead for this week. Trying to, I made my way all the way through it. Not without a walkthrough, because I spent quite a bit of time just fucking walking in circles. I don't know what to do. God damn it. So that took up a chunk of time, and then I started playing that Momodora, which is like I was saying earlier, just like it's so far it is a quite well done little Metroidvania, and you're like this. So the one that I got, Reverie Under the Moonlight, or Moonlight, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. I'm very tired.
Pops through the door.
What? This is a fucking Moon Knight game. I'm on it. I already bought it. I played it. It's great. What? Fuck, dude. No, so like I think this one is, there's 4 or 5 games out right now in this series. I think there's a new one that's coming out on Switch at some point next year, I think is when they announced it. Momodora 5 maybe. So this one I think is a prequel though, where you are, I don't even remember the main character's name, but like you fight with a leaf, which is super weird, but like, I don't know, it just kind of makes sense and works in the world, and you have a double jump right from the beginning of the game, and you have like a bow and arrow right from the beginning of the game, so you can do some ranged attacks and whatnot. I don't know, it's cool so far. I haven't gotten far enough into it to really said like, yes, you should go pick this up for $10 or whatever it is. But so far, like, I like it enough. I got it on sale. I got that Raja game on sale as well. I haven't even started that. It's been a busy week here. Like, we had like family stuff and relatives and birthday parties, and I had to catch up on some movies and have some projects coming up at work recently. So I've been busy with that shit. And, you know, I mean, obviously the show is still sucking my life away at every other opportunity that it has. There was a bunch of stuff that came out for this past week. MLB did the Field of Dreams game. Did you watch any of that?
No.
You've seen the movie, correct?
I've seen the movie, yeah.
Right. It's a great fucking movie. Great movie. The beginning of this game is played between the White Sox and the Yankees. It's past Thursday night. They built a field like right behind a corn maze right next to the original set of the Field of Dreams movie. So it's like an 8,000 seat stadium. And they start the broadcast, and they're like, this is going to be special. You're not going to want to miss this. And I was like, fuck you, Joe Buck. You're an asshole. I hate you. But you're right. I probably don't want to miss it. So, like, I was really excited about this game. I love that movie. I love baseball. So, all right. I'm all in. I'm super invested. And then they come back from commercial, and Kevin Costner is walking through the corn. And he's walking through the corn, and he comes out onto the field. Right, and the fans start going nuts. It's like, oh shit, it's Kevin Costner. And he's acting in the moment. Like, he's walking out the way he walked out in the film, and he's got the ball in his hand, and the fucking soundtrack is playing, right? Aww. Like, and it was magical. It was magical. Like, just watching this happen, and the crowd is going nuts, and Kevin Costner's walking just kind of, and he gets about, so he walked in the outfield, right? So outfield wall's probably 375 feet from home plate or whatever. He gets about halfway to home plate, and then the Yankees and the White Sox start walking out of the corn. And I'm fucking bawling like a baby sitting on the couch, dude. Because the music is playing, and these guys I was just like, oh my God, like, the world is such a shit show right now, and this is so fucking perfect. This is just so incredible, and it was so well done. And the game itself was amazing. Like, it was back and forth, and the White Sox were winning in the top of the ninth, and they brought in their all-star closer, Liam Hendricks. He's this Australian dude who's really funny. Like, he's a lot of fun to listen to. He's a good personality. He was talking shit earlier in the game and whatnot, and he comes in, and fucking Aaron Judge hits a 2-run home run, and then Giancarlo Stanton hits a home run, and the Yankees take the lead. And it's like, yes, the Yankees are going to win, but they can't win because the Yankees are always the bad guys, Chris. In every baseball movie, it's always the Yankees that are the bad guys. And in the bottom of the ninth, fucking Tim Anderson hits a walk-off home run. And fireworks are going out from the old-school scoreboard that they had. Like, they legit had a scoreboard where people were climbing a ladder to change the number of runs. Like, it was just this really magical... It was a beautiful night for baseball, like everything you could have possibly wanted, except for Joe Buck and John Schmaltz to be on the commentary. John Schmaltz, the former Red Sox and Brave pitcher, is a twat, and Joe Buck is possibly the worst announcer in the world. Like, I don't know that you could find two guys less interested in calling a baseball game than Fox's national baseball broadcast team. I've never heard two people sound more bored when they are talking about a baseball game. It's insane. And like, if you were trying to bring in casual fans, this wasn't the team to do it. Especially considering, like, what was Bob Costas doing, Chris? I ask you. Where was Bob?
Sitting at home watching the game.
He probably was. And that dude, not for nothing, Bob Costas is the best, like, broadcaster, sports broadcaster in the world right now, in my opinion, right? And I'm always right, so fuck it. He would have been great because, like, what was so magical about watching this game, right, is that it was everything that was what makes baseball what it is. Just, like James Earl Jones says in the fucking movie, there's been one constant, Ray. It's baseball. It's always going to be here. So this magical night happens, and then the show was like, you didn't think we were going to let this go by without doing a bunch of shit, did you? And they put, like, a bunch of new content for the Field of Dreams stuff. Because there was an event going on playing at the stadium and a bunch of cards to unlock, and, like, this really dope-ass Roberto Clemente card to play with if you, like, got enough points in the event. And then the game happened. And then they added a bunch more stuff, like, specifically from the game. It's just like, oh my God, like, this game really, really gets it. Like, and what's amazing to me about it is that it's all free. Like, once you buy the game at the beginning of the year, this is just what they do every season. And, like, this is the first time in a long time that I've gotten really, really invested in the Diamond Dynasty stuff, but man, it's real good. It's real good.
That sounds awesome, man.
Man,
I'm actually kind of bummed I missed that.
It was so. It was perfect. It was perfect. I like legit. Tiff and I are sitting on the couch in tears as this whole opening ceremony is happening, and Katie keeps walking by, going like, "What is wrong with the two of you? It's a baseball game. Shut up. You don't know. I really needed this right now."
Look, kid, things mean things, all right?
I mean, oh man, it was just beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to play through all this content on the show then, since all this stuff is out now. And Puzzle and Dragons has a bunch of stuff. The fucking June Bride event just came back, which is garbage machine and nobody should roll in it. But that's happening, and there's a whole fucking challenge going on right now. Like, it's a lot, Kris. It's a lot. And then I got all these other fucking games coming out.
Yeah, then we got the avalanche of new releases on the way.
Like, as we were talking, I went by and I just looked at it. And yeah, for August 11th was Axiom Verge 2. August 25th is Psychonauts 2. September 21st is Kena Bridge of Spirits. October 8th is Metroid Dread. Guardians of the Galaxy is October 26th. Advance Wars is December 3rd. And that is only... apart from Metroid Dread, that's only PlayStation 5. Not to mention all the PS4 stuff that I can play, or anything else on Switch that I might be interested in. Or whatever Pad does in the interim as well. God damn it. I just don't have time. I don't know when people have time to play video games. They don't play the show. That's what it is.
Yeah, they don't play other video games. Oh my goodness.
Good times, great oldies.
Really, really good times. You know how I passed a bunch of time with the kids today was dusting my amiibo shelves. For some reason, have you been watching Ted Lasso?
No! Again! Play the show. I don't have any time for anything else, Kris. I would love to. I know I would love it.
Oh, you would definitely love it. There was a line in the last episode that was it's something about like kids, they don't care what they're doing. They just want to be involved in whatever you're doing. And the guy turns around and says, "Hey, you want to come with me to my podiatrist appointment?" Yeah. See?
Yeah. They do. You're not wrong.
It's 100% right. So I was like, well, I got to dust some things. And Ellie's like, yeah. So I went and got the stool so she could get up on the high shelves and she could do the dusting while I lifted up the amiibo for her to dust under. And she was having a blast. Kids are weird, man.
Kids are fucking weird, man. Kids are fucking weird.
I don't know what else to say. What is it, 9:43? My eye still hurts, but at least I can see. You ready to take a break and then talk about Clash of Demonhead?
Yeah, let's do some commercials. Go watch Scott Pilgrim right quick.
Yeah. And
then
gotta get that reference.
Drown in the sweet sorrow of the Clash of Demonhead.
God, I told you before, they're cutting out snacking and I'm cutting out sweets and I'm trying to eat normal portions of food. So this thing that I do while we're on the podcast where I watch tasty videos on Facebook has become especially torturous over the last couple of weeks. But I can't look away. It's so good. I was just watching this guy make these crazy ass tacos out of all this meat and
not meat, Kris.
I love
Say
food.
It ain't so.
I just love food.
Anyways, I don't. I'm over it. I'm over food.
Fuck
I like beer.
Food. I'm just gonna live off
We're gonna have
beer.
another one right now. We're gonna have some more Narragansett lagers, Kris. Narragansett's where it's at, dude. If you can find, I know you don't like beer, but man, I got to tell you, after doing some yard work, a fucking 6-pack of Narragansett, that is a good way to spend your time. It's good stuff. It's my cheap beer choice.
I will take your word for it. I'm looking
beer
forward
choice.
to tomorrow when I get to have Wednesday when I get to have a glass of chocolate milk. I'm allowing myself that after I do my big exercise days.
See, you know what I had earlier today? See, I know, I don't hate food. I hate being a fat ass. That's what I fucking hate. I had, the Korean market, it's around the corner from my house, is phenomenal. I fucking love this place, like, more than a regular grocery store. Like, I feel about this place the way, like, some people feel about their family. Like, that's how much I love this place. And one of the reasons that I feel that way is because in the very small flavored syrup section that they have, where they have, like, the strawberry and the chocolate and whatever, they have coffee syrup. And I know you're not a coffee person, Chris, but coffee milk is among the greatest joys in life.
Sounds horrible.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's because, like, the coffee syrup is like, it's a sweet, like chocolate syrup, but it's coffee flavored. And it's like drinking coffee ice cream. It's magical. It's so good, Chris. I know you hate coffee. I feel like Karen would love it. Anybody who's listening to the show right now, if you like coffee ice cream, if you can find coffee syrup, fucking make yourself a glass. It's amazing. Oh, I just poured a beer, but I might go have some coffee milk right now.
Well, on that note, we're going to take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Clash at Demonhead for the summer series. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. And now, here's a quick look at some of the other original content available now from our partners and Geekade.com.
First up, Geekade's narrative sci-fi podcast is back with an all-new episode. It's Radio Free Rhea, in case you were wondering what show I was talking about. Anyway, you're good. I'm glad that I was able to answer your question then.
I didn't even have to say it out loud. That's how in sync we are.
Oh my God, it's like we're just inside each other.
It's like we're reading from the same script.
We're not. Don't ruin the magic, Chris. Anyway, Holly? Or is it Holly or Haley? Okay. It's Halley, so that to me is Holly.
I'm pretty sure it's Holly. I'm trying to remember because I'm behind on this show. I listened to the first one. I was like, that's pretty interesting. And Holly sounds familiar, but that was a while ago. So
I listened to the first one, and then
since then.
I also listened to the first one when we were going to bring them on board, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I don't have time for anything. Yeah. Holly is unhappy with some station changes, but Ren is unhappy with his life as a whole. Also, how are those Martian spiders doing? Find out in Radio Free Rhea Chapter 3, Shut It Down, Mr. McCloud.
Seriously, it's a fun show. If you have time in your life for a narrative sci-fi podcast, which unfortunately I don't, then you should listen to this because they put a lot of effort into it, and the first one was really good. So
they do. They're doing good work.
Doing the Lord's work, as they say.
I have to pick between that and the Jim Cornette Experience.
I don't know what that is.
I know you don't.
It's not
it's
on
wrestling,
Geekade, so I don't care.
No, it's wrestling.
Not part of the Geekade podcast network.
He's too big for us. We couldn't get him.
Nothing's too big for us, Dan.
No, that's not true at all. How very dare you.
Size queen.
Next, as you might know, I'm a size queen. No, I'm just...
As you may know, I write for Nintendo Force magazine. As you may also know, I'm a Ninja Turtles fanatic. So when my boss told me our next issue is going to be TMNT focused, I volunteered to write all manner of stuff. What I couldn't have predicted is that I'd be teaming up with Jonathan Holmes to interview Kevin Eastman, which is totally a thing that happened. I also wrote about a couple of vintage Ninja Turtles games, including the grossly underplayed Turtles 3 for Game Boy, and I reviewed Ninja Gaiden Master Collection and Blaster Master 03, so if any of that sounds cool to you, or if you just want a rad Ninja Turtles poster to hang in your living room, head on over to https://www.nintendoforcemagazine.com/shop, or just nintendoforcemagazine.com/shop, and get in on the action. You won't regret it.
That number again, or that website again, https://. One more time, www.nintendoforcemagazine.com. Finally, are the dudes in your life not quite And
look, it worked.
I hate to. No. It does, and it works. I hate to say this about somebody, Kris, because you know how kind and sweet of a person I am, and I would hate to walk up to somebody and be like, "You're not Nintendo enough. You're not. You're just not, Carl. We all fucking think it. And nobody else has the balls to tell you. Well, I will tell you, Carl. Carl is a dude in my life that is not quite Nintendo enough.
Chicken sandwich, Carl.
Or maybe, Kris, maybe you could use a little, I'm gonna say New Jersey in your diet. Not sure what that's about.
You could use a little... I lost where you are.
New Jersey? Second sentence. I didn't get very far yet.
A little more.
A little more? Oh, that's not even close. All right.
What the hell was I thinking?
Strike that. Reverse it. Maybe you could use a little more New Jersey in your diet, and quite honestly, you all could. It is scientifically the greatest state in the union. You should probably go subscribe to Nintendude NJ's Twitch channel, because you never know when he's going to go live and play some video games for your entertainment. And because his entertainment is itself entertaining, or at least that's what I'm told. Mike, the titular Nintendude, has been playing through Hades and talking all manner of video game stuff on his channel lately. He would be more than happy to welcome you, yes, you, the listener, to his streaming community. Head on over to twitch.tv// I never know which one it is, Nintendude NJ, and mash that subscribe button and hit a bell for, I think, notifications and thumbs up, or give them bits. I don't fucking Twitch. For some solid video gamey entertainment. I was on Twitch on Saturday night watching Triple Mania, the fucking AAA wrestling Lucha Libre show, which was crazy. They had a cross promotion with Marvel. It was nuts. The very first match of the night was Spider-Man, Captain America, and Captain Marvel against Venom, Black Widow, and Thanos. And the Incredible Hulk came out halfway through, and they all had fucking luchador masks. Like, Thanos's was dope. It was all purple, and he had, like, gold things on his chin to, like, fucking, like, Thanos's chin dimples. It was amazing.
What was Black Widow doing with the bad guys?
I don't know. I think they were just like, spiders. I don't know. Black Widows are usually bad. I don't know.
So are Thanos's. Spiders.
Spiders.
Old Thanos spiders.
Big old thing. The dude who was Venom, his mask was super cool. He had like a big old long tongue coming out. It was dope. It was a good show. Ric Flair was there. Ric Flair was in AAA, chopping Kenny Omega and putting Conan in a figure four. It was fucking amazing, Kris. I know you don't care about any of that, but it was great.
Well, for the stuff we talked about, not that great content, but the other great content.
The other stuff, yeah. We don't have any wrestling content anymore.
No, sadly.
Oh, Carlos. I miss him.
Anyway, be sure to keep your eyes on geekade.com. Hey, we're back.
We're back.
We returned.
I said it too.
Yeah. Well, we're both back.
Well, that's good.
No, just Dan's here.
It's like that weird dinosaur movie. We're back. Are you? That sucks.
Oh my god.
You should get out of the city.
I have like the Game Boy version of that movie.
Do you? Wasn't that like a Don Bluth joint?
That definitely looks that way.
You know it's not a Don Bluth joint, Kris.
Clash at Demonhead.
The Clash at Demonhead. That's right. Pulling that right back on the rails.
All right, give us a little breakdown on what this game is and why you chose it.
Well, I would love to say that I had played this game before reading the Scott Pilgrim books, but that would be incorrect. I had seen this game a bunch of times, and like I always just kind of looked at it, I was like, that, I don't know, man, that looks fucking weird. I don't know how I feel about this, but Clash at Demonhead, which is known as Dengeki Big Bang in Japan, was published or developed, released by Vic Takai, who we have covered here on the show a couple of different times. They were a really interesting development studio out of Japan. But it came out in Japan on January 27th, 1989, and then came out a year later, January 1990, here in the States. It is Metroidvania, I don't think is the right way to put it. It has some backtracking elements, and it's open-ended. And there's not a ton of things that, like, I need to go here to get this thing, and now I can go back. There's a little bit of that, but it's more just an open-ended platformer where you are in control of the main character, Billy Big Bang Blitz, which is a fucking great name. You are a sergeant in Saber, the Special Assault Brigade for real emergencies. I think it sounds like somebody wanted your organization to really be called SHIELD. Fuck, man. Anyway, the game starts off. You're on vacation. You're chilling at the beach with your girlfriend Mary, and you get a phone call that Professor Plum, the creator of the Doomsday Bomb, which is capable of destroying the world. Maybe you should have called it something different. Maybe if he called it the Not So Bad Bomb, it wouldn't have been such a terrible thing. But Professor Plum has been captured, and it is up to Bang, as I think he's only called Bang in the American version. I think Billy Big Bang Blitz is the Japanese version. Or I might have that backwards. It doesn't matter. You then have to go off on an adventure to save Professor Plum and stop the world from blowing up. And indeed you do. I don't know, is that a good introduction, Kris?
That's pretty good.
Is that all right? Was that thorough enough?
I'm looking at the U.S. instruction manual online. I do own this cart. I own this actual cart, and I've never actually played it before.
I do too.
Let's see. The Saber Tiger's youngest leader, Bang. Yeah, it just says Bang.
Yeah, just Bang.
Here.
I thought so.
Good old Bang. Yeah,
it was 1990.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? This game is super anime. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
The spiky hair, like the big googly eyes on the crabs and stuff. Like, this game is goofy as hell. It does not look that way from the box. If you just look at the cover art,
a completely different game than is on the box. The cover art looks like you're getting a Flash Gordon game, and like old school Flash Gordon, like Flash, savior of the universe, like that one. Not fucking Defenders of the Earth or whatever that cartoon show was. Like old school Flash Gordon, kind of. The girl looks a little Barbarella-esque on the cover. Like, it's a cool cover.
Like, this is definitely a cool 80s video game cover, but like, if you're expecting something like Power Blade or whatever, just from an art direction angle, this game is goofy and super duper like 80s anime goofy.
Yeah.
Like, the shopkeeper was the thing that just stuck with me so much in this game.
The shopkeeper's pretty great. And like so the weird thing about this game, right, is that you start off and once you hit start, it takes you to this big overworld map, and there's all these interconnected routes. And you see, like, there's a big mountain up at the top, and you're like, all right, I obviously have to get up there. There's all this weird shit over here. There's a lake. There's an area, like, up in the upper right-hand side. I don't know how to get to that yet, because there's no direct path connecting it. Like, all right, But you can only start off on the first route. So you play through and you get through the first route, and then you're presented with a choice, and you can go, like, depending on where you end up at the end of the current route that you chose, you sometimes have, 2 to 3 options that you can pick. I can go left, I can keep going straight, and go off to the right a little bit, and it opens up the rest of the map. So the game is completely non-linear. There are things you need to do in order to get to the absolutely ridiculous ending that is in this game. Because, man, does it take a fucking right turn. And if you are going, after you listen to us talk about it, if you decide you want to play through this game, and I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't yet, you will want to play this with some sort of guide. Otherwise, you're just going to be going around for hours. Which is how, this is very much a video game of its time. Right?
Yeah.
This is very much before we decided, hey, maybe we should, I don't know, give the player a little bit of direction as to where we want them to go, instead of leaving them completely on their own.
Yeah, I can't say that I got far enough for that to become an issue, but it definitely looked like it was going to be. I remember after playing it for a little while, then looking at the map and being like, "This is going to take forever."
Yeah,
it doesn't look all that overwhelming at first, but once you really kind of go through a little stage, then you go back to the map and say all right, well then I'm going to go this way. Which is pretty nice that when you're going, it takes into consideration which direction you're heading. So, when you go back and say, all right, well, I need to go back to this other stage, which means I've got to go through this other stage to get there. When you go back in that direction, you don't start at the beginning and work your way to the end. You start at the end and work your way to the beginning.
Yeah, you go backwards through the levels, which is a surprising amount of...
cohesion is the right word?
Cohesion maybe, yeah.
I was pretty happy with that, and it keeps going into these for lack of a better word, codec sequences the whole time you're playing it. And what do they call it? This talking in the beginning,
talk time.
In the middle of the talk time.
Talk time, baby. It's like a little chat show, but it's got those sequences are nice. The characters pop up, and they are. You're right. It's very. Very similar to a codec. They're well animated, expressive. They're anime nonsense,
but they're so full of personality. And this game made me very happy when I was playing it. It made me very happy when I was playing it, and also somewhat bored while I was playing it, because I wasn't sure how much fun I was having actually playing it, but I was really enjoying the weird world that this thing's setting up, and I really just wanted to watch this anime is really what it came down to. It was I really wanted to watch these characters be goofy around each other. The character designs are just bananas.
The character designs are really weird. As you play through the game, you get the ability to unlock a bunch of different power-ups from the shop, which gets more fun to play. Right when you get the jetpack and you're just fucking zooming through it, I don't want to go through this level again, so I'm just going to put the jetpack on. I'm just going to fly through the top of the level because fuck it. So I'm tired of going through here. But you get a jetpack. There's speed and jump boots. There's a power suit. There's an underwater suit. You get a spread gun at some point. A ball gun where you shoot balls out onto the ground. I hated that one. And the star gun.
I didn't like the boomerang gun very much.
That wasn't great.
Boomerang gun, but then I tried using it and I couldn't hit anything with it.
No. So that's definitely one of the complaints that I have with this game. Because fuck it, I think people should play this game. I think it's wild, and I definitely think you should check it out and play it with a game with a game guide. But one of the issues I did have with this game is that the hit detection is kind of all over the map, right? your character can't duck through a lot of shit that it looks like, because it like hits the top of your spiky hair.
And like when you do that, he reacts. Like,
yeah,
when you jump and hit your head on the ceiling, he reacts, which is really weird and that definitely not something you see very often, and especially in old games like this.
Yeah. So like the hitbox on your character is very large, but the hitboxes on the enemies are somewhat smaller. So like there definitely was a little bit of a learning curve getting into this game. Of like, all right, I kind of like what we're doing so far, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing at home. Like, I need to, like, get comfortable in this world. And then once you get comfortable with it, I think there's a lot of fun to be had here.
I completely agree. I definitely recommend this game because it's got a great personality. It's weird, but it's also very ambitious.
Very ambitious, yeah.
I probably would have liked this game a lot had I played it when I was a kid. Because I definitely didn't really... This is one of my later acquisitions when I was just collecting every NES game that I had ever heard of, basically.
Right, anything that you saw that you didn't already have.
Yeah, like I remembered seeing this game or hearing somebody talk about it, at some time in my old Funko Land, and therefore I had to have it in my collection, which is pretty much... That's my NES collection. It's like, if it's a game I had heard of for some reason... Then I grabbed it. And it's got such a cool name, Clash of Demonhead.
The Clash of Demonhead.
But
yeah, it's pretty
I
badass.
probably would have liked this. I wish I had been able to spend more time with it. You're right. I probably should have attempted it with a guide. I just kind of went in blind.
I could not recommend that any less, actually.
I was having some fun with it, but then there came a certain point when I realized, like, the map is just like this. There's just so many different paths, and I realized... This is going to take some time, which I just didn't have this week. We should give ourselves more than a week to play these games. We
really should. We did last time, or a couple years ago. It took me, like, once I started playing with the guide, I think it took me an hour to get through. Because, like, once you get the guide, you're like, all right, I go up here, go over here, do the thing, collect because, like, there's some secret stuff in here that you have to do that, like, there's one part where you get a magical stone from underneath the lava, okay? And once you get the magical stone, you can use it to enter this doorway and fight a demon who kills you instantly. And then you need to continue from there. Like, that's what's supposed to happen, right? But if you don't, like, it doesn't do a very good job of, like, leading you down that path, because in a modern game, right, if you got to a point of the game where the bad guy killed you and it was supposed to happen, then it goes to a cutscene, right, where like the character like wakes back up and was like, oh, I shouldn't have fucking done that, or whatever dialogue. They probably put a little more thought into the dialogue than that. In this game, the demon kills you, game over, and you go to the continue screen, and it's like, well, shit, I got killed in one shot, like, what am I supposed to do? So then you continue on with the game, and then you have to go to a completely different side of the map, and you have to use the magic stone again in front of this weird statue, and then you get a sword. And it's the only time you use a sword in the game is to kill this fucking demon at the top of Demon Mountain. And it's, what is going on here? That you did not give me any direction to this. This would have taken me days to figure out. Which, when we were kids, like when this game came out and we were 10 years old, we had days to figure shit out.
We had days. We had Nintendo Power to, talk with our friends about it. Like, somebody had something.
Yeah, you would, you're playing through and like, all right, well, you come over and we'll try and figure this out or whatever. So if you play through it now, which, again, I definitely recommend this game, play it with a guide. Vic Takai, man, they're a weird company. They're a really, really weird company that has put out, or they did at one point. They don't make video games anymore. Their last game was published in 97. For the N64, they did Dark Rift, which I don't know what the hell that is. Yeah.
Oh, that's a fighting game. It's bad.
Is it?
It's got a big green guy on the cover.
That's kind of the thing about the Vic Takai games, man. Like, going through and looking at what they did. They did Golgo 13, the top secret episode for the NES, which I know I played a bunch of. Kid Cool on the NES, All Pro Basketball, Psycho Fox and Clash of Demonhead, the Moffat Conspiracy, Cryon Conquest, which we played a couple years ago, Decap Attack, which is a Genesis game that's pretty cool. And then after that, they really kind of fell off of things that I had played. Like they did a version of Columns 3. They did Top Gear 2, Shinobi Legends for the Saturn, which I don't know anything about, but like they made a bunch of games back in the day, and all of their games, we said the same thing about the Cryon Conquest, right? Like this is a really ambitious game that they just weren't quite talented enough to pull off to make this amazing thing. Because like one of the things that I think really holds Clash of Demonhead back is that I'm tired of that fucking song over and over again. It's the only like 2 songs in the game, and the backgrounds are just blank.
Yeah, there's not a lot visually happening that's super interesting.
There's not, and it was certainly possible at that. Like by 1990, there were some good-looking Nintendo games.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like some really like detailed, pretty games for what they were. And like this game is definitely not that. It is not a pretty game.
No. It's got a certain sense of style, and like the character designs and stuff are interesting, but yeah, it definitely doesn't land in the pretty game category. Funny that you mentioned the music. That was one thing that really caught me during this game, was so much of its sound design is so similar to Rygar.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The sound effects, the instrumentation, it reminds me so much of Rygar. It was really bugging me out. Like, this isn't Tecmo. I almost wonder if there were like anybody that worked on both those games. Like maybe the same sound designer left Tecmo and went to Vic Tokai or whatever.
I mean, maybe you're right, man. It is. It's definitely like, and it's not just the music. Like, there's definitely some Rygar vibes in this game.
Yeah.
Like
it's
definitely
less Metroidvania than Rygar overall, but it does have some very vague similar styles. Like, it doesn't take itself nearly as seriously as Rygar does.
No, certainly not. But kind of that open-ended platforming type game.
Little bit of a floaty jump. I do wish the main character innately moved faster, like on his own. He's pretty slow to begin with.
But you do get those boots at some point.
You do eventually get those boots, but to start off, it definitely feels like you can't move as fast as you want to. So I'm with you that I think this game's super interesting and that people should play it. It's very much a product of its time. It's very much an NES game, but at the same time, it's one of those interesting NES games. Not quite as interesting as or not interesting for the same reason as something like Guardian Legend.
Right.
I don't think this is one of the best NES games, but I do think this is one of those games that should be tried by more people.
Yeah, this definitely kind of hits. Like playing through this, I was so happy playing through it, because this is kind of really the spirit of the summer series, right? These games that we've heard about, or like these hidden gem type games, and like this just like ticks all of those boxes. You know, it's not the greatest game in the world, but damn it, you should definitely play this.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting and a pretty cool way to spend some time if you're looking for an NES game. And that's the wonderful thing about the NES's library being so large, is that there are games like that aren't in the mainstream that people have probably played. Like, Dan and I have played a ton of NES games, but neither of us had spent any time with this game before. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, you know, being able to go back and be like, all right. And if you can put yourself back into that mindset of like, okay, it was 1990. Things have come a lot further since then. You know, you can forgive it for its faults and accept it for what it is. And
definitely, there's
a good time to be had. And like I said, with a guide, it took me about an hour. It's not super hard once you get into it. You know, you get this weird little shop thing where you can buy all the upgrades, and then that was one of my favorite parts of this, is that you get an ability to call the shop from wherever you are, and like the shop icon just kind of like floats down from the screen, from the top of the screen.
Very Fantasy Zone.
Yeah, super weird. You do get a bunch of abilities from a hermit, at one point, like, you can turn super small, and you get, like, some karate moves, I think they call them in the instruction manual. So I was looking at that earlier, too. Like, there's a couple abilities you get from this hermit. One that you get at, like, later towards the game gives you the ability to warp to any route that you want to, which, like, okay, now traversing through this is much easier. But right, of course, you always get that towards the end of the game. But yeah, man, like, what a fucking weird little game. Man, that cover art is so cool, but does not do this game any favors at all.
No, I could definitely see getting this game based on the cover art and being disappointed. So something to look out for.
That is some sci-fi nonsense on there. Man, I do want to go fucking watch some Flash Gordon now. I haven't seen that movie in forever. Just watched The Phantom the other day. Completely off topic, but I did just watch The Phantom the other day. I fucking love that movie. But yeah, like, I'm. It makes me love Scott Pilgrim that much more too, right? Because it's like, yes, this game is fucking dope, and there should be a band called The Clash at Demonhead.
It makes a great band name, that's for sure.
It does. Have you tried the section called The Clash at Demonhead? Oh, it's such a good song in the movie too. Brie Larson's fucking sexy as hell in that part.
I haven't seen that movie in way too long.
Oh my god, you really should. We watched it with the kids like a month or two ago. I fucking loved it because that is an impossible movie not to love.
I remember liking it quite a bit.
Love it so much.
So
yeah. I'm looking at
Clash
a bigger
Demonhead. Bigger
image of the Clash of Demonhead. Who is this guy on this bike? There's like a dude on a jet bike, like shooting at you up here. That's fucking weird. That's not in the game. That's not in there. I don't know what that is. Anyway,
this was a strange setup.
Yeah, definitely play the Clash of Demonhead. Very, very successful summer series choice.
Yeah,
and we have our next one picked out already.
We do, so we should like do it sometime. We'll announce it now, and then we'll do it sometime next month.
Yes.
So the next one has been on our list for ages, and it's something that I have played, and I've definitely spent time with as a kid, but I've never finished it, and I have never taken it seriously enough to try and actually finish it. Like I played around with it and got just completely lost as a kid, and had a ball with it. So Dan and I are going to play Goonies 2.
The official sequel to the Goonies movie.
I used to think that. I think everyone did in America. That
I certainly
supposed
did.
To be a sequel to the. No, it's the official sequel to the Goonies game, which we only got as part of the Nintendo Versus System arcade machines. Which is neat.
Which means nobody played it.
Yeah, pretty much nobody in America played it. Goonies 2 is basically like the same game, but better. Goonies 2 is a really interesting game, and I'm super excited to actually get through it myself, because this is classic Konami doing their classic Konami thing. Like, this is this really ambitious title. It's got a lot of weird stuff to it. It definitely has a lot of dead-end kind of stuff to it, but it's got great music. And pretty solid visuals, because this is Konami, and they really did not mess around on the NES. So I'm excited. We'll do it we'll start playing through it as soon as we can, and we'll talk about it sometime next month, and that'll be the end of our summer series, because that'll be the end of summer.
Yep.
Oh my god! But yeah, I think it's time to call it. It's time to call it a show. Good pick.
That's right.
Clash of Demonhead. We clashed. There were demons and heads, and that's our show. We're already coming to the end of August, so it's time for the 10, 20, 30, 40. Time does fly when you're, I don't know,
doing a podcast.
So it's time for the August 10, 20, 30, 40. Next week, we'll be discussing notable releases from August 10, 20, 30, and 40 years ago, including massive hits like 3D Classics Urban Champion for 3DS, or EA's NHL Hockey for Sega Genesis, and of course the North American launch of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, which I've heard of.
I've heard mixed things.
Yeah. Is
Not
it
all
super?
good.
Was it Super?
Was it a Super Nintendo or just a pretty good Nintendo? The PG-NES.
All right, we're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, the Geekade Patreon, which helps us keep this show running week after week, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by the lovely banjo guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor Evan for making the show listenable for all you folks. We'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.